on my way now. I'm on my way now. I'm on my way now.
So if I told you a few years ago that we would be in the middle of Transylvania in a town called Sighisoara, would you believe me?
Sighisoara. I think it's Sighișoara. Hopefully we'll figure that out through the day.
We'll figure it out, but we know what we have figured out. This just might be the cutest little medieval town in the world.
So today's video might not be quite the usual video for us. I have been feeling kind of crappy the last few days, and then I have a full-blown cold now, and I'm not feeling well at all. And Trevor thinks he's starting to get sick too, so stay tuned to the next video to see if that actually happens. But we're gonna do our best to show this town to you, and it shouldn't be that hard. It's pretty amazing.
So it is cold today. You remember how we were saying it was like extra warm lately? Well, that has finally caught up to us here today.
I think we actually might need to invest in maybe a hat and some gloves soon.
Look how cute the streets are here. Look how colorful. And then if I turn this way, there's another square with colorful buildings. What a spot this is.
I know, and I feel like we kind of lucked out, or I guess we kind of planned it purposely, but we're here in low season, it's winter time, and there's hardly anybody else here.
So this town has 28,000 people in it, and it's divided into two parts. There's a lower town, I guess, which is more modern, and then there's upper town, which is this part, the old town, and it's fortified.
In this area of town, the old town was actually declared in 1999 a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Pretty cool. So this is probably the best way to show you just how high up we are here in Old Town. There's the new part of town, but this has the better views, I would say, in Old Town.
It does, and also has old historic towers. There's one right behind me. It's really, really unique looking, and it's kind of what you picture when you think of Romania. It looks like a little tiny mini castle. There's actually 9 of them throughout the Old Town. So a little bit of history about the origin of this place. Back, I think it was in the 12th century, the King of Hungary, and I'm assuming maybe this was part of Hungary at the time, invited a bunch of German merchants and craftsmen here to develop the area. They ended up building 7 different citadels in the area, including this one, and they built these towers, which actually represent the different guilds. There were ones like the butchers, the bootmakers, the tailors, furriers, ironsmiths, rope makers. There were probably others other than that, but these are the ones that still remain today.
So right behind me here is another tower, and this one's kind of interesting because, well, you can see Anna back there. There's arches. It looks like that's is one of the ways into the town here. Cars can come through here now, but I keep trying to imagine what it would be like way back in the day, like just coming into town through that. So someone's found a sign here.
Yeah, it's actually really, really helpful, and there's English on it too. There's a map. This is actually the tailor's tower that we were just looking at, and it looks like the one maybe we were just at is the shoemaker's tower.
All right. I don't think I want to go to the butcher's tower, though, do you?
You don't want to go there?
So look what we just found. There's this covered stairway right in the middle of town.
So this staircase was actually built in 1642, I think it was, and with the purpose of connecting the lower part of the citadel to the upper part. I think there's a school up there, or there was a school up there, so they wanted a way for the school children to easily get up to the top. And I think that I read that there are 170 something steps, 176 maybe, 179, I forget.
So there are definitely enough steps to make you breathless. I don't think it's going to make a difference if there's 177 or 179. Well, we made it to the top. We are definitely out of breath. We're thinking the views up here are probably going to be really nice. There's a church, as you maybe have seen already, and the gardens are quite cute up here, I would say.
I also heard that there was a graveyard up here somewhere.
So maybe it's morbid, and we both know that not everyone likes graveyards, but we love coming across ones just like this. This dates back to the 16th century, and there's actually 4,000 people buried here.
So a funny little story that I came across while I was doing my research about this town. I'd heard the term Pied Piper before, but I didn't actually know what it referred to or the story behind it. The fable goes that somewhere in Germany, I think in the 12th or 13th century, yeah, something like that, this town was having problems with rats, lots and lots of rats. And so this guy came along and he said, I have this magic pipe and I will make music that will lure the rats away. And the mayor agreed to it and he said he would pay him. So the guy did it, it worked, all the rats went in the river, they drowned, the town was saved from the rats. But then the mayor refused to pay the piper. So later, the piper came back into town to get his revenge, and one day when all the adults were in church, he lured like 200 children away. I think the story in Germany is that they probably died, but the story here in Transylvania is that he actually brought them here. They were in a cave for a while, but then they all spread out throughout this region and went on to live happy lives, and some of the descendants are actually buried in this very graveyard, supposedly.
And sticking with the theme here of creepy AF, that is a weird story and pretty fascinating. Wow, Romania. Now, this actually isn't the first graveyard like this we've been to before. We were at a pretty interesting one in Paris, but more recently, the one in Buenos Aires was pretty spectacular as well.
Yeah. So we've decided to make a stop for lunch. I have to say, if you're gonna get sick in any country, Romania is probably a good one to do it in because they have soup everywhere and really like authentic traditional soups. So we each went for, obviously, a soup today.
It looks delicious, and we decided to stay outside because it just feels good.
Better.
Feels better on the head right now.
Yeah. So I went for a garlic chicken soup. It sounds like the perfect sick food. It's a, I don't know how they properly pronounce that, Ciorba, which means sour soup here in Romania. So this one has chicken, it has some rice, and it does have some sour cream, I think, which maybe some vinegar too to make it give it that sour kind of flavor to it. I'm just gonna give it a go.
It smells so good, and we're outside right now, and I can smell this.
I can't really smell today, and I can kind of smell.
So yeah, I can still smell, but Anna's definitely on a little more on the sick side.
That's yummy. Chicken's nice and tender. I like the rice in there. It adds just a little bit of heartiness to it. There's some, I think, some veggies in there, and then the sourness really stands out. I think, especially with, I think this may be the first soup I've had with actual sour cream in it, and it's really, really prominent. It's good.
Oh, look at this. Look at those big hunks of chicken. So my soup is called, it's like a Transylvanian chicken soup is what they labeled it. So there's cream in here. I think there's some tarragon. I think some of the ingredients are similar to Anna's. There's carrots. I think there's some onions as well. But, oh yeah, let's try this out. I'm just gonna try the broth first. Oh, that is just perfect right now. And it's cold out, like we said, it's about like 7 degrees. So we decided to stay outside and eat this, and it's definitely going to warm us up. This broth is out of this world. Let's see if I can get some other things. Okay, this time I definitely have some more. Well, that is the best soup we've had here in Romania yet. It's delicious. Wow, that chicken is so nice and tender, and the carrots are nice as well, and the onions. As Anna said, you can taste that little bit of sourness, but for us right now, just because we said we're not feeling that good, it's doing the trick. It's just keeping us nice and warm outside here while we're in Sighișoara. Sighișoara? I don't know if we figured out how to pronounce it. I think it's Sighisoara. Sighisoara. You guys can let us know. So it started to rain since we finished our delicious lunch, and now we're not sure if we can hit up the other spots we wanted to go to.
I hope so, because we've had some pretty good views today, but I think the last spot is going to give us the best view of all.
I can't get over the roads here. Look at this. It's like these giant archways, this big tower up there, just kind of looming over the town. So cool.
So you guys might recall from our last video, we were visiting Dracula's castle, and we talked a little bit about Vlad Dracula, or Vlad the Impaler. He was from this region, and he was actually born in this house. This is another claim to fame of this little town. He was born in this house behind us. I guess you can go visit his bedroom.
So our plan is not to go visit that today. We have a better idea. There's this enormous tower right here in the middle of the town. It's called the Clock Tower. It's actually the biggest one here, and we're going to try to get up there. So we made it inside, and my favorite part about this so far is the floors. Listen to these things. Like
everywhere you walk, it's creaky.
It's so creaky. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, and this place is also a museum, and I think it's all about the history of the town. So like the room we're in right now is all about the towers that we already talked about and the different guilds associated with them.
Well, take a look at this. This is pretty cool. What do you think it is?
I'm gonna guess that since it's ticking back and forth, that it's maybe the mechanism that runs the clock outside. Do you think?
Ah. Well, the views are as spectacular as we thought they would be, and what's really neat is all the roofs are red. So we kind of noticed that before, but they all have the typical peaks that you would expect here in Romania. And now that we're up here, we can kind of see there's also birds all the time in Romania flying around, like blackbirds, and it's just, again, back to that eerie feeling. It just always adds to the vibe.
So this is really easy to get to. Not that the town is particularly big anyway, but it's right in the middle of Old Town. Obviously, is a must-do for these amazing views. It took like 5 minutes to get up here, and we stopped along the way to look at the museum. But it costs 15 lei per person, which is about 4 USD, so not too bad.
So now we are back at our place, and we thought just because it's so unique, we'd come and show these guys what it looks like.
Yeah, definitely. It's a super unique, almost feels traditional or
Yeah.
something like that home here.
I don't know if you can see, I think you can behind us here, the archways, like the ceilings have all these really cool arches throughout the whole place, and there's gorgeous woodwork in here as well. And we're also right in the heart of the old town here.
We're literally right at the bottom of the clock tower, like just you step down, I don't know, a couple minutes,
Yeah.
and then you're right here.
So this way is the bedroom, and I'm sure you can tell that this is very big and quite unique with a little view out there.
Yeah, not a bad view. I think the old town's kind of like that direction. The clock tower that we were just at is kind of behind us. But yeah, check out the view. So I'm pretty sure you can find this place on both booking.com and Airbnb. I saw it on both. We paid about $80 which is actually a bit of a splurge for us, but we were only here for a few nights, and I'm so glad we did because we have such a cozy place. For me, I spent basically the whole day in bed yesterday, and I was really happy we had this really great place to at least chill out in. Anyway, I will leave some links below if you want looking to book it, or if you want to book anything through like booking.com, Airbnb, or if you've never used Airbnb, we'll also leave a link for you to save. I think it's $40 on your very first booking.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. It's kind of win-win. You'll save a little bit of money, and we'll make a small little kickback, which helps us stay on the road a little longer to produce these videos for you guys. But Sighisoara has been a blast.
Yeah, it's so, I wish I felt better, but
I know.
If I'm gonna be sick, this is a great place to be sick in. It's really small, it's easy to walk around. It wasn't like we had to walk for hours and hours today or anything. We were always really close to home.
Yeah.
It's really cozy and quaint and really, really beautiful. Loved it.
Yeah, now, if you got this far in the video and you're wondering who we are, I'm Trevor and this is Anna. We are the Delightful Travelers. If you hit the subscribe button and then click the little bell, that will allow you to follow along in our adventures. If you hit the like button, that helps us out. And leave us a comment, because then we know what you thought of all this. Now, last time, what were we up to?
We did a little bit of a day trip from Brasov, which
Right.
is where we were staying the last time. So we did a castle, like Dracula's castle.
It was a lot of
and
fun.
we did a really amazing fortress. It was a great day.
And next up, we are going to Cluj is all the locals call it. That's kind of short. I actually don't know what the last name is yet. But I think it's Napoca. But we're going to Cluj. We're just going to call it that. We're going to check out what that city has to offer. I think it's going to be great.
I'm excited. We've heard really great things about it. All right, guys, that's it.
From Sighisoara, wishing you delightful travels.
See you soon.